Okay, so brothers and sisters, I watched this movie called Cheat on Me, and it gave a lot of spiritual revelation, and it was a great movie on top of that, so I'll put it in the description box. If you watch Nollywood movies, which I love, Nigerian movies. So, basically what it was saying was when you have morals and you stick with the Heavenly Father's laws, it will always work out in your favor. It said that so much in this movie. It was amazing. So basically, just the breakdown of the movie was it was a guy and he had a boss, and it was a woman, and she was attractive, and she wanted to sleep with him. He was happily engaged, so he was about to get married. So he stuck to his morals, and he didn't care that she liked him and she wanted to sleep with him. So she kept asking him, and he kept turning her down because he was saying, I'm engaged. I'm not going to do that for my job. So because he didn't do what she wanted him to do, she fired him. And then part of his job was he had a company car, and they also let him live in one of the company houses. So she let him know to give her the car back, and then she was going to come after 24 hours and confiscate him and kick him out the house. But he still stuck to his morals, even though he lost everything. So he went home. He told his fiance that he lost his job and what happened, why he lost his job. So she was worldly. The woman he was going to marry, all she cared about is having this big wedding and her reputation with her friends and family. So because he made good money, he had a good job. So she told him that she didn't care if he slept with the boss to keep his job, to keep the car, and to keep the house. And he told her no, he's not going to go against his morals. He's not going to sleep with her, and she shouldn't want him to because he's engaged to her. But all she cared about was the things he had to offer. She didn't really care about him. So he told her, if we lose everything, that's fine. We can just go, the money I've saved up, we can go get a little apartment and I can get another job. So the next day he started looking for another job. He kept running into this woman and she kept being mean to him. She could not understand why this man stuck to his morals no matter what. He would not sleep with her. He didn't care how she treated him. He tried to go apply for a job, and her friend was the boss, and the friend mistreated him because of her friend. But it came to the point where the woman started to respect this man because he stuck to his morals. No matter what she did or what she tried to do to this man, he did not step out of he said, I'm engaged, I'm with the woman, I'm going to stay faithful to her. And even though this woman, she did not care about this man, he still said he would not sleep with somebody for a job or for things. So the fiance she found out who the boss was, and she tried to set her fiance up to sleep with the woman. She tried to get him drunk and he passed out. And it was just so sad because it's like you have a man that would basically lose everything and start over just for you. That's how much he loves you. That's how much he respects you. And you would sell him out just to try to prove a point to people that don't care anything about you. That's what was so sad about it. But what was so twisting was when he went to the woman because she lied and texted him and told him he had his job back, he can come back to work and stuff like that. And his fiance had to tell him that was a lie. He didn't have his job back or anything like that. She was trying to get him to sleep with her. He was upset. So he walked to his ex-boss's house to tell her sorry and stuff like that his fiance did that. She asked him to come in and they talked, and she told him that he made her see life in a different way because she never had a man that was ever faithful to her. So by him sticking to that, even though he had a woman that did not love him truly, they end up becoming very close. And in the end, he ended up marrying his boss. They end up falling in love, and he ended up marrying his boss. She had so much trauma that, she never knew there was men that were out here that were faithful. So she thought every man was alike. No matter if you had power, if you could take something from them, they'll do anything. They'll sleep around because they always slept around on her. But he showed her that all men are not like that. And they end up being together. He ended up dumping the girlfriend because he lost interest in her, because he seen that she only cared about his money and she only cared about what her friends thought and her family. So he lost interest in her. And then when he went off and started dating his actual boss, and he fell in love with her, and she seen this, she tried to get him back, but it was too late. So this is why it is very important to, if you have morals, don't go outside of your morals for somebody else's comfort. Don't ever care about what somebody else thinks about you and your man. It does not matter. When a man takes you and asks you to be his wife, it's just you and him now. It's not a family, all this friends and caring what they think and trying to have this extravagant wedding. It's so much more than that. And we shouldn't be so propped up on those materialistic things that, she lost the best thing that ever happened to her. She probably would never get a man like that again because of her actions. And she basically pushed this man in another woman's hands, and now he's happy, and this woman actually has the man she's always wanted. So look at what one decision, because of greed, because of materialism, can do for you if you don't have the mindset of the Heavenly Father. If you don't operate off the spirit, like that's what he was doing. He wasn't thinking about the fleshly. If he was on the flesh, if he was in fleshly ways, then he would have slept with her to keep his stuff. But he operated off the spirit. He said, okay, if I lose this stuff, fine. But I won't do that because I'm faithful to my soon-to-be wife. He knew the Heavenly Father. He kept saying, God will bless me. I will be okay. Maybe it's meant for me to lose these things. You have to be walking especially when you're walking into a marriage. You got to be walking in the spirit. You cannot be walking in the flesh. Ladies, if you are walking in the flesh, you will sell your soul for a ring, for a wedding dress, for all these things. And then when you get into that marriage, it's going to end because you have no clue what to do as a wife, because all you cared about was the marriage and getting the ring. You didn't even care about him. But now you have to be a wife and you have no clue on what to do. So this is why this is very dangerous. It can be dangerous if you're not walking with the Heavenly Father in the spirit when you are going into a marriage, when you are about to marry a woman. See, he almost married a woman. The Most High had showed her true colors, where he almost married a woman that was so fleshly, so wicked, she didn't even care about him. So he was showing her true colors so he wouldn't make the wrong mistake. So it all worked out in that man's favor. When you walk, and this is what the Most High shows us so many times, when we walk with him, he always does what's best for us. He always reveals people's true colors before we walk into our promises. And he got blessed with a woman that was actually in love with him, was for him, would never do nothing like that. Because this is going to be the woman of his children. This is going to be the woman for the rest of his life that has to take care of him. And if it's a woman that's just greedy, she just married you for greed, or she just married you for a status, as soon as things got bad, she would have walked out on you. She would have left you like, oh, I don't want to be with you no more. Let me go over here to this next dude that got money. If you got hurt and you couldn't work anymore, she wouldn't have your back. She would leave you stuck. And this is not the type of women anybody should want. Same thing with a man. Man can do that too. When she starts to gain weight because she's had his babies, he wants the next pretty thing walking around. So this is why it's very important to follow the Heavenly Father, because he will always reveal somebody's true colors before you make the biggest mistake of your life. So I just wanted to say that, because it was a great movie, and it just pointed out a lot of things that a lot of people don't look at before they get married. You get tested all the time throughout life, and it's up to you if you're going to pass or fail these tests and keep doing the same things wrong. And he was tested, but the test worked out in his favor. even though it might have seemed like his life was falling apart right before his hands, and all he had to do was sleep with her. But it all worked out for him in the end, even though he took the right route. He didn't want to take the route of the flesh. So you have to live in the spirit. That's why this is very important. But I just wanted to say that. Much love and all praises to the Most High.